All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Saturday. We are live here today with week 4 of the grief process. So, we're doing this 13-week series from now all the way to January of next year, 2025. So, I'm going to share the live in the Love Ministries platform as well as OTM's Facebook page, everyone, so everyone can tune into this live later on today. Give me a second, everyone, as I come on here to talk to you all this morning. So again, if it's your very first time tuning in to the Love Ministries broadcast of the grief process, welcome, welcome, welcome. Comment in the section below your city, state, or country of which you're residing in, everyone. So we're going to jump right into today's segment, everyone, because I know you've been all waiting for the grief process segment. So I had other things to do this morning that I needed to take care of. So let's just look at this topic here, everyone. So the first one we're going to talk about is acknowledge your grief. It is okay to feel sad during the holidays. Don't try to bottle up your emotions or pretend everything is okay when it's not. A study published in Psychomatic Medication found that people who suppress their grief experience more health problems. The second point, they do. Talk about your loved ones. Keeping their memories alive can be a source of comfort. Writing a grief journal can be another way to process grief. Talking to someone who understands if you're struggling to cope with your grief. Talking to a friend or family member who has been through a similar experience can be helpful. Taking things one day at a time. Grief is a process and it takes time. Don't try to rush it. Taking care of yourself. Be sure to take care of your physical and emotional needs during this time. Eating healthy meals, get plenty of rest, and finding ways to relax and de-stress. Do what feels right for you. There's no right or wrong way to deal with grief. Do what feels most comfortable for you, whether spending time alone or being around other people. So, in the last 3 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking about the grief process, and this segment here is very strong and very heavy during the holiday times, everyone. And I have a grief guide that I want to read to you all today instead of just basically just going over the same thing. This is a guide that I found. I found this lady on Facebook, and she was talking about navigating through grief. And it talks about navigating through grief, a mom's guide to navigating through grief journey. This is by Jennifer Curry Persad, and her website is jennifercurrypersad.com. So her introduction says, from one grieving mother to another, losing a child is an unimaginable pain, and a grieving mother is an essence to know that you are not alone in your journey. This grief guide aims to provide support, understanding the particular struggles to help you navigate the complex and the unique challenges of grieving as a mother. Remember, healing takes time, and there is no right or wrong way to grieve. Allow yourself to feel, scream, or cry, sleep, whatever you feel. Honor your journey and your child's memory, and seek support when you need it. So today's segment is focusing on a mother or father who has lost their children. So this is where we are today. So the first topic that she speaks about is number one, acknowledge your grief. Give yourself permission to mourn and accept that grief is a natural response to loss. Understanding that it may come in waves and can be triggered by various moments or memories. Allow yourself to express your emotions, however intense they may be, without judgment of yourself. The second point that she mentioned is reach out. Number two is seek support. Reach out to trusty family, friends who can provide support, who can provide comfort and a leaning ear during this difficult time. Consider joining grief support groups or online communities specifically for mothers who have experienced the loss of a child. Sharing your feelings and connecting with others who share similar experience can provide a safe space for healing. You may feel no one around you understands, and know that this is let me read this again. You may feel no one around you understands, and know that this is a normal feeling too. Losing a child, I feel, is different than any other loss, and only those who have experienced can truly understand. Point number 3 says, take care of yourself. A gift and give yourself so much grace. Grief can be a physical, mentally, and emotional drain. Remind yourself that self care is critical. Focusing on nourishing your body with healthy foods, staying hydrated, getting enough rest, engaging in activities that brings you comfort or solace, such as journaling, listening to music, or going for a gentle walk in nature. Point number 4, create a scarce practice. Scarce to practice can help you cope with grief and honor your child's memory. Consider creating a personal ritual such as lighting a candle, writing letters to your child, or setting up a memory corner with their photos and belongings. These small gestures can offer a sense of connection and provide a space for you to express your love. Number 5, memorizing and celebrating, finding meaningful ways to remember and celebrate your child's life. You might consider planting a tree, starting a charity or a foundation in their name, organizing an annual memorial. These acts can bring solid and especially a legacy for your child while involving friends and loved ones in a collective tribute. Number 6, seeking professional help. Sometimes the weight of grief can feel overwhelming to bear on your own. Don't hesitate to seek professional support for therapy or grief counseling specializing in bereavement. They can provide guidance, coping skills, and compassion space for you to explore your feelings. Number 7, practice self-compassion. Be patient and kind to yourself throughout your grief journey. Understand that healing doesn't come with the expiration date, and everyone's grieving process is unique. Allow yourself to feel your emotions fully without guilt or judgment. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding you would offer a dear friend. So, in conclusion, as a grieving mother, know that your strength and resilience are remarkable. Even aiming unimaginable pain, remember that grief is not something to get over, but something to integrate in your life and carry forward. One moment you may feel okay, the next moment you feel like you are spiraling. This is normal. Whatever normal really means for moms like you, allow yourself to heal at your own pace. Seek support when needed and honor your child's memory in ways that brings you comfort and peace. This is your journey, and you get to decide how you want to survive this and learn to navigate grief in between waves and recover joy alongside grief as possible. Give yourself time and grace. With love, XOXO Jenny. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're focusing on the topic today about mothers losing children or fathers losing children, but the article is specifically talking about a mother that lost her child, and she's giving you tools to help you during this holiday season as we're going in for the Thanksgiving holiday, and then fast forward to Thanksgiving, and then Kwanzaa, and then New Year's. This is a tool for those who are grieving the loss of their children, and this tool that I'm sharing with you is going to really give you hope in the midst of that. So again, give yourself permission to just allow yourself to feel the things that you feel, and give yourself grace. And I always talk about grace because grace goes a long ways, ladies and gentlemen. So as we talked about this topic today, I want you to come back to this live and share with a friend and family or loved one that you know that may need this, and help them to understand the process of this. So next week will be our 5th week in the grief process. So we're going a little bit deeper this time than normal. So we're focusing on different categories of grief. I shared in the first grief for those who has lost husbands, wives, parents, even pets, and those who have had, loved ones who may be in first responders. I know this past week we've had people who was a lot of fatalities in Palm Beach County. There was a man that was struck and killed off a military and Beeline by a freight train, and then it was a real horrific accident out there on Seminole Pratt, where 3 PBSO officers, 2 of them life was taken, and the 3rd one is in critical condition at St. Mary's. So I want you to take time and just pray for the families, the ones that are bereaving and the ones that are praying for their loved ones to have a recovery, because grief is hard. It's a long journey for so many of us who are experienced this and those who are experienced for the very first time. It is a journey, it's a walk, it's a path. It's very overwhelming at times. So, moving forward, everyone, I want to talk about the topics we're going to be talking about going into it, because we're going in a different direction this year in the grief process as the Spirit is leading me. Next week, we're going to talk about the loss of grandparents. The week after, we're going to talk about loss of spouses. We're going to talk about loss of parents. We're going to talk about a loss of animals. And then we're going to go ahead and do a recap of everything we talked about in week 5, 6, 7, and 8 to tie into that. So week 5 is a recap of everything we're talking about in week 5, week 6, week 7, and week 8, everyone. So these are the things that we're going to be talking about here. So make sure you all tune in for the next 4 Saturdays at 8 a.m. We'll be talking about some important things, everyone, because the information that I'm sharing with you all is going to bless your life. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And we're going to talk about how does grief affect kids in week 6. Actually, let me see. Week 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So week 10, we'll talk about that. Yeah. Week 10, week 9, week 8, week 7, week 6, week 5. So we're going to talk about these different components here, everyone. Moving forward. So I'm going to give you a recap. So week 5, we're going to be talking about grandparents. Week 6, we're talking about spouses. Week 7, we're talking about losing of parents and step parents and guardians. Week 8, we're talking about the loss of an animal, those who have pet animals that they love. Week 9, we're doing a recap of what we talked about in week 5, 6, 7, and 8. Week 10, we're talking about the grief and how does that affect our children. Then we're going to go into week 11 about how does grief affect you with just relatives, uncles, aunties, cousins, second, third, fourth cousins, God, brothers and sisters. All of that's going to be talked about in week 11, everybody. So this is going to be a very, very good tool that's going to help you navigate through this, because grief, ladies and gentlemen, it's a different feel for anyone that is close to you. And we're going to talk about relatives. I'm going to talk about, friends that you have lost, dear friends that you have called your brother or your sister over the course of your life. These are very important topics that we're going to be talking about for the next few weeks, everyone. So make sure you hold on to your buckles and listen in. Okay. 12. Okay. So week 12 and week 13. So as we look at week 12 and 13, we're talking about what goals are you going to set for yourself in 2025. So these goals are some things that you really want to set for yourself. And these goals are what you want to see that's going to help self-improve yourself. So we have a lot that we're going to be covering in the next month and a half, ladies and gentlemen. So again, thank you all for tuning in to today's broadcast. I know this one was very short and direct, but I pray that you are able to really decipher this topic, everyone. And I'll see you back here on next Saturday at 8 a.m. Have a blessed and a wonderful Saturday.